Many industrial brands have hunkered down amid the pandemic years, whereas others have used this time period as an opportunity for aggressive growth. There's perhaps no company with a more exciting timeline than bearings and power transmission component supplier Solve Industrial Motion Group. In 2020, the Solve brand was established, bringing PT International, or PTI, in North Carolina, IPTCI Bearings in Minnesota, and LMS Bearings in Colorado together under one umbrella. More recently, the company announced that it had added Bearings Limited, a leading manufacturer of bearings and power transmission components under the Tritan brand, as well as SST Bearings, along with USA Rollers Incorporated. Solve is a one-stop resource for both metric and American standard power transmission products, serving multiple verticals including food and beverage, material handling equipment, agriculture, automotive, textiles, mining, building products, and pharmaceuticals. Joining us today is Lisa Mitchell, CEO of Solve Industrial Motion Group, to give us some insight into what the company has in store for the future. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. So let's talk about Solve's busy 2 years. Obviously, there's been a flurry of executive changes, a few acquisitions. Can we expect this kind of pace from Solve for the remainder of this year?
I certainly hope so. So from the executive additions to the team, a lot of that is centered around the fact of we are building out the platform and we continue to look to build out the platform. So part of what we have done is we keep a nice balance on the senior team between people out of the industry and in the industry, because it does bring a nice breadth of depth of knowledge and different ideas as we continue to plow through building out the platform. You know, from an acquisitive standpoint, what I would tell you, Anna, is I believe that we will always be continuing to be on the acquisition mode. We definitely are on a buy and build strategy and looking for great companies to come inside the Solve portfolio to make us a better premier supplier manufacturer inside the power transmission industry.
All right, let's talk about your latest acquisitions. Bearings Limited with the Tritan brand and SST Bearings along with USA Rollers. Tell us a little bit more about those.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we made those acquisitions in the last probably 6 months, and it's been pretty busy. And the reason for those acquisitions, they brought to the table exactly what we were looking for as we continue to build out this platform. Historically, the Solve Industrial Motion Group is a bearings business where we manufacture bearings for the distribution and OEM markets and channels. And when we look at bringing others into the portfolio, we look at them for certain reasons, right? They bring to the table some of the same product and depth that we have in our product portfolio, but also they expand our product offerings. So you think about Bearings Limited and the Tritan brand, they are very heavy into the radial side of the business. You know, that's a strength that the legacy, I would tell you, Solve business didn't have, and it's a great bolster to our portfolio and product offering. When I look at SST and the US Rollers business, you know, getting into material handling and moving into those adjacencies such as rollers is key to our success, and really one of our pillars of our acquisition strategy as to how we offer more premier products inside the power transmission industry, along with bearings. So you'll see us moving into adjacencies, whether it's gearing, couplings, whatever it may be inside the current space, but also possibly move towards automation as well.
All right. So with your history of acquisition in mind, tell us what you are looking for in an acquisition target and why.
For us in an acquisition target, when we really go to market and start vetting companies to come into the portfolio, there's a few things that really come to top of mind. One is, do they add to our product portfolio and make us a better provider to our current distribution channels? Do they open up a different industry for us to maybe get into and get a stronger foothold in? And also more importantly, or as importantly, do they help us build out a great network for our supply partners so that they can depend on us to be more of a premier supplier outside of our core offering? You know, I think the industry is moving so fast in a lot of right ways. When you look at mechanical power transmission, you can say it's been around for years, but there is this wave that is heading to automation, and how do we get to be a part of that, and how do we improve? You know, you've got labor shortages and people trying to be better at productivity. So for us, it's really how do you bring great brands into this umbrella, you know, with a premier product where we can enjoy the benefit of their brand, but as well as help that cross-sell synergy that we may have behind the scenes in order to be that better partner for somebody.
Okay, lastly, Lisa, what's next for Solve?
We're growing. I would tell you, Anna, there is no stopping, right? There's no threshold. There's no, where do you think you're going to go from here and what is the end game? To us, it's really about how do we be the best provider and manufacturer that we can be inside the power transmission space, continuing to drive superior product availability. It's key today with supply chain challenges that we have. We want to have quality in everything that we do and provide the best quality that we can and have great people around us that are going to help us get there. And you know what, as long as we can continue to grow organically, providing those current services that we do today and add other products into the portfolio, it's a win-win for us. And we're really excited about the future of Solve.